Good morning, folks. Please be seated. Thank you.
Good morning,
Good morning, Mr. We'll go right ahead, sir.
This is the matter of the State of Washington versus Joseph McEnroe, case number 071-087-16-4 Seattle. Mr. McEnroe is present this morning in court with his counsel. My name is Scott O'Toole, and along with Michelle Morales, we appear on behalf of the state.
Good morning again. A couple of quick things to put on the record. I just wanted to check in with defense counsel, and I see Mr. Sorensen and Ms. O'Connor are here with regard to the Dr. Cunningham issue and viewing testimony on YouTube. Has that been resolved to your satisfaction, or is there a motion that I need to rule on? I'm not really sure where we are with that.
Your Honor, we object. I cannot articulate specific prejudice to the defense if Dr. Cunningham is allowed to come in and observe. I am concerned, though, about the risk of prejudice and the risk that in some way that could result in some cross-examination of Dr. Cunningham when he is called in the defense case. We're not going to be asking Dr. Cunningham about anything other than his evaluation of Michelle Anderson. That's why I say I cannot really point to specific prejudice, because his observations of Joe McEnroe might not bear directly on that. But that's my concern, and so for that reason we object, and because of that risk of prejudice, we ask that he be told simply that he's welcome to watch the internet.
Okay, so you have no objection to him watching on YouTube the very same proceedings that he would be precluded from watching inside the courtroom. Am I right?
For all I know, he's already watched it on YouTube, Your Honor.
Could be. He hasn't been told he couldn't.
Right. So, and I mean, I guess the court's power would extend to bar him from looking at YouTube. But that's a separate issue.
I've never seen a case on it.
It seems like that would be, well, without going down that road, yeah, we object to him observing in court.
Okay. For a reason of prejudice that you have yet to sort of
because we're concerned that, I'm concerned that Mr. O'Toole in his craftiness could come up with some line of cross-examination that could affect Dr. Cunningham's impeachment. I'm not able to articulate what that is, but that's my concern.
I think you were just complimented, Mr. O'Toole.
It was a backhanded compliment. You know, I object because in this context, Dr. Cunningham is not an expert. He's not evaluated Mr. McEnroe that I'm aware of. He's certainly produced no documentation or any opinion to that effect. He is a fact witness. And to the extent that he is a fact witnesses are not allowed to testify, or not allowed to attend prior to being excused following their testimony. And he should not be in court. He should not be viewing testimony of other fact witnesses on YouTube. You've made that ruling. Everyone's aware of that ruling.
What ruling was that?
The exclusion of witnesses.
Well, I excluded witnesses from the courtroom. There's no doubt about that.
Well, but the rationale for doing that is so that they don't hear other witnesses' testimony. It certainly extends and would render in order to witnesses from the courtroom meaningless if they can simply go home and watch it on YouTube. The whole point is not to have tainted testimony. And he is a fact witness in this context. He would be a fact witness for the purpose of watching Mr. McEnroe. So I don't think he should be watching this at all.
Okay. And Mr. Sorensen, back to you.
Your Honor, we would like to have Dr. Cunningham observe a portion of Mr. McEnroe's testimony. It is available for the time being, anyway, on YouTube. But simply put, it's better to have him observe the testimony in person. We also don't know how long it will be on YouTube. I don't think he's watched it yet. We don't have any idea how long it will be there, whether it's even there with the permission of the owner of the footage.
Well, for your purposes, he could look at the testimony after the trial was over, correct?
if it's there and available, I don't know who owns the rights to that footage, whether it will be there, whether it's available, whether it will continue to be available, or whether somebody will take it down. I don't know who posted it there. It doesn't appear to have been one of the news agencies that did so. So it's available today, but I don't know whether it will be available after this trial is over.
I have a feeling it will be, but
maybe so. I simply don't know. Our point is that, one, that it is better to have in-person observation rather than video. And two, there's really no prejudice to either of the parties in this trial for the court to allow him to sit in. And the rule is permissive, and it should be allowed.
okay, in the state's position that he's a fact witness, that separates him. If he was an expert, we'd have a different story.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, now that I know that this issue is still back on the plate, I'll give you a ruling by the end of the morning. Okay, I don't know that you need it any earlier than that. With regard to the second issue, the motion to preclude testimony of competency experts, I don't know, Mr. O'Toole, if you had a chance to even see this. Have you?
I literally have seen it. I have not had a chance to read it. I think I got it maybe less than an hour ago or an hour ago. I've not had a chance to.
I think that's about when I got it too, so okay. Let me know when you've had an adequate opportunity to take a look at it and figure out what position you might want to take on it, and we'll go from there. Okay?
Thank you.
So here's where we're at right now. I gather we're going to call the 3 witnesses that came from out of state, Mr. Preston?
Yes, Your Honor. One of whom was being picked up at the airport at 9:15, having traveled all night, and she is now at the hotel.
Okay.
Checking in. So
And do you have
she's
somebody
nearby.
available?
Yeah, 2 are waiting right next door, Your Honor, in Judge Smith's
Okay.
cell.
Then why don't we get started? I will forewarn you that I'm going to have to interrupt the proceeding at some point. Now, are you sure he's going to be here at 9:30?
I just set that up with him.
Okay, because consistent with the YouTube discussion, the trusty computer blew up this morning, so I need to get this thing replaced, unfortunately. So he says he can be here at 9:30. Okay, so rather than bring everybody out and send them back in 5 minutes, we'll just recess for 5 minutes, get the computer issue straightened out, and then we'll pick up with your next witness, okay? Does that work for you? Mr. O'Toole?
Now, this should work with the court's schedule. I think Mr. Presti and I talked before we started this morning, and we wouldn't mind having an opportunity to sit down with Ms. Fluter during the morning break, if that's possible. She is somebody who did not want to speak directly to the state without counsel present. I think Mr. Presti also wanted the opportunity to chat with her. We could do that during the morning break, and then she'd be on right after.
Is she here now?
She's the one checking into the hotel right now. We expected to be able to meet with her last night, but that didn't go as planned.
Okay. I was hoping she was here now and you could just do it
Well,
at this point, but I guess...
we're moving as quickly as we can.
I understand that, Councilman. I wasn't anticipating some of these problems either. Okay, so we'll be in recess for about 5 minutes, maybe 10, to get this problem straightened out, and then we'll pick up with your next witness, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Just in the sense that he's here tonight, you're even willing to test the computer.
Okay, and you know where to reach me if we move quicker.
Powering down.
That's my understanding mind as well, and I have to accept everybody's representation that they'll not try to change his testimony into expert testimony when he does testify. So based on that, that would militate towards excluding him from the courtroom and watching Mr. McEnroe's testimony. The defense, that is Mr. McEnroe's counsel, object on a more amorphous ground of potential prejudice that has yet to be defined in any way, shape, or form. But the bottom line is, from my perspective, my primary objective in this case is to ensure a fair trial between the parties in front of me at the moment, which is Mr. McEnroe and the state. And for that reason, I'm going to deny the request to allow Dr. Cunningham to attend the testimony. I'll also preclude him from watching any YouTube video of the testimony. And part of the reason I'm ruling in this way is, number one, because I believe it's fairer to the parties in this trial, and number two, I have very little doubt that the material that Ms. Anderson's counsel wants Dr. Cunningham to view will be available to him at some point in time. He's definitely going to have the transcript available to him, and it seems to me that in all likelihood, by the time Dr. Cunningham does testify, the YouTube video will still be up and available for him to view. And even if that were to be taken down, given the amount of media coverage of this case, I have very little doubt that there will be materials out there for him to view in advance of the trial in Ms. Anderson's case. So I am going to preclude him from attending the testimony, and also indicate that he should not be viewing the testimony on YouTube or any other media outlet. And Mr. O'Toole, I think you may be correct in your belief that that prohibition is somewhat subsumed within the ER 615 motion to exclude witnesses, but I'm not so sure that it's articulated to the witnesses in any way, shape, or form. The order is to exclude witnesses articulated in the courtroom. I think we need to be more specific perhaps in the future to let people know that in this kind of a case with this much media attention, it also extends beyond the boundaries of the courtroom door. So I think it's a lesson that we're going to have to learn over time, but I'm going to instruct counsel to let Dr. Cunningham know the parameters of that ruling. Okay? So, Mr. Sorensen?
Your Honor, I assume this goes without saying that the court's order expires after the conclusion of Dr. Cunningham's testimony?
At this point in time, yes, unless there's another motion that I get at some point in time after his testimony. But yes, that would be the normal parameter for a 615 motion to exclude. It evaporates as soon as the person testifies. So that's the ruling at this point. So thanks for the request for clarification, Mr. Sorensen. Anything else, folks?
Not for the state, thank you.
Then are we ready to get the first witness on?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Kenny, if you bring in the jury, please. Thank you. You all good? Ready?
Ready.
Well, it also gives you more room for your best breaking if you get under there, so.
And I've had to do that, so.
I did too. My first one was, whose idea was this?
Rise to the jury.
Good morning, ma'am. You could come on up here and raise your right hand. I'll swear you in and we'll get started, okay? Right there, straight. You swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Please have a seat.
Can you answer out loud because I have to make sure that you're being picked up by the microphone?
Okay, yes. Mhm.
Okay. Let me just move that a little closer. Maybe you can move your chair a little bit toward the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. Please tell us your name and spell your full name for the record.
Sabrina Cato, Sabrina, last name Kato,
Okay. And what is your address?
6321 Rustic Ridge,
Hope Mills, North Carolina,
I
28344.
didn't hear the city,
It's Hope Mills,
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Mills.
Oak Mills, okay. And is that close to Fayetteville?
Yes.
Not how far away?
It's about a minute, depending on which direction you're going.
Oh, it's real close.
Yes.
All right. At some point in time, you worked for Target,
Yes.
and that was in Fayetteville.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us when you worked there?
It was like from 98 to 2008, something like that.
Okay. And while you worked there, did you have contact with a man named Joe McEnroe?
Yes, I did.
Is that this man here?
Yes.
Okay. And how was it that you were in contact with Mr. McEnroe?
I was one of the department managers, and there were several nights that it was my time to manage the closing shift, and I worked with him at that time. I managed him.
And you were aware, I'm just asking this so we kind of get a time frame here, that Joe left Target in about April of 2004. Is that about right?
I believe so. I can't remember dates.
All right. 2002, sorry. 2002. Did you tell me about how Joe was during the time that you knew him, and that was about how long?
I think I knew him. I worked with him about a year.
Okay. And during that time, did you supervise him?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And where did he start out at Target?
He started out being a card attendant and doing backup cash registering, and then he got moved up to manage the electronics department.
Okay. And did he have responsibilities in the electronics department?
Yes, he did. Keeping everything in order, keeping the cases locked up and everything, cleaning up and stuff.
Was he given keys to the department?
Yes.
Okay. And how was he as a worker?
He was an excellent worker. He would come in early all the time. If he was asked to stay late, he'd stay late. He would complete his job and step over and help out the other associates working there without being asked or told to.
Okay. And do you know how he came to work? How he got to work?
When he first started working out, he walked to work every day. Rain, shine, whatever. He walked.
Okay. Was he ever late?
No, never.
Were you aware of his living situation?
I just knew that he rented a room from somebody. That's all I knew.
Okay, so you never went over to his house?
No, sir.
How were his interactions with other people on the job?
Joe was quiet, and he pretty much, he was shy. But if you were to approach him and talk to him, he would respond and talk back with you. And he was excellent with the customers.
And when you say he's excellent with the customers, can you describe that?
He was very knowledgeable in the electronics department. And they always went to Joe and asked him questions about cameras, what type of batteries to use and stuff. He was very knowledgeable. He always would listen to the customer and then help them from there to see what would best suit them for what their needs were.
Okay. And at one point, did he change the way he got to work?
Yes, a bunch of us found out that he was walking to work, and some of the executive managers took up money and they bought him a bicycle.
So, did you ever see him get angry with anybody?
Never.
Okay, how would he relate to people?
He was very pleasant. I mean, like I said, if somebody came up to him and asked him a question, he would respond. Other than that, he pretty much stuck to himself. He was shy, quiet.
Okay. Was he kind of a person who would engage others or something else?
No, he he would, if you approached him, he would communicate and talk with you. But he would not make the first effort to do that.
Okay. And how was he? Was he a team player or not?
Oh, yes, he was very much a team player.
And describe that for us.
For an example, if we were closing at night, our job duties were to straighten up everything, make sure everything was point forward and everything. And like I said, he would always do his job and then step over into another department and help the other associates.
Without being asked?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what would he do during his lunch breaks?
When he went to lunch, I've seen him a couple times in the break room, and he always had a sandwich in a paper bag, and he'd read a book.
Okay. And did occasionally you and your fellow workers go out after work for a drink or something like that?
Yes, there was a couple times, like if we were closing that night, we'd go out afterwards to have a snack or something, or for drinks. And we've invited Joe several times, but he never would go with us. He always went straight home.
All right. Were you aware of his reviews?
I never personally did any of his reviews, but I was more than sure he got pretty much excellent on his reviews.
Was he ever absent?
No. He came to work several times soaking wet because he walked to work in the rain. If it was like 100 degrees outside, he'd walk to work before, he got his bicycle.
Now, you've come a long way to testify.
Yes.
Why did you agree to come?
Because
The Joe that I knew, it was like a son to me, and I had to do everything I could to present for him.
No further questions. Thank you.
Cross-examination, Mr. O'Toole.
Thank you. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I take it you've been from North Carolina probably all your life? Or-
No, sir.
No? Where are you from?
I was born and raised in Germany, and I'm an Army brat, so I've been...
Well, you have a little bit of an accent, that's why I asked.
Oh.
That sounds a little different than what we're used to up in the Northwest. That's the only reason I asked. I'm going to ask you a couple of follow-up questions, if that's all right.
Sure.
It sounds as if you're here to tell us that Mr. McEnroe was a very good worker,
He was an excellent worker,
and that he helped others on the job,
always.
and both during his own regular working hours and afterwards.
Yes.
It sounds like he was pretty quiet at work.
Yes, he was.
And you said that when after hours and things like that, if people went out to socialize, he didn't go.
No.
And I take it that you never thought that was particularly unusual.
No, not Joe. He was quiet. He was shy. He didn't seem... We invited him pretty much because it was the thing to do. We invited everyone out. And we even offered to pay for his meals, to pay for his drinks, and get him there and back. But he would go home.
And it sounds from what you're saying, that was his choice.
Yes.
And no one put any pressure on him to go out with you?
No.
And as far as you know, was anybody putting any pressure on him not to socialize?
No.
Anybody putting any pressure on him, to sort of do his lunches on his own and read a book in the lunchroom at work?
No.
It seems like it was his choice.
Yes.
I think you talked to a detective on the phone. I'm looking at the calendar there. 2 days ago on Sunday for a couple minutes. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir.
Detective Tompkins?
Yes, sir.
The reason I ask is, I think you mentioned to Detective Tompkins that you were visited some years ago by a defense attorney.
Yes.
I'm just asking who that was.
I don't remember her name. I don't know if she was a defense attorney, but she was somebody from the defense group. And she came to my work it was about 2 years ago, to my work and asked me questions about Joe.
The reason I'm asking is, do you think that you thought there was a prosecutor there?
At the time?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, No? I just want to make certain I got this right.
No, there was, what I'm talking about about 2 years ago, it was somebody from the prosecutor. I'm sorry, that's what I,
Someone told you they were from the prosecutor's office?
yes.
Did they leave you a name?
I think she gave me a card, but that was like 2 years ago.
So you said it was she.
Yes,
I'm
it was
guessing
a
it wasn't me.
No,
I've
it was
never been to North Carolina in my life.
no, it was a female.
And so it's not my good friend here, Detective Tompkins,
No,
or my co-counsel, Ms. Morales.
no,
And you're sure it was somebody from the prosecutor's office?
that's what she told me.
That's what she told you?
Mm-hmm.
All right. When you knew Mr. McEnroe back between, was it like 2000 to 2002?
I don't remember what years. And
Here's why I'm coming with the date. Mr. Hamaji asked you about whether you think he may have left Target about April of 2002. And I thought you said that sounded about right.
yes,
How did he dress? What did he look like back then?
he wore like work boots, khaki pants, because that's what we had to wear, and red t-shirt or red shirts.
And haircut short the way it is now, or longer? Or?
He had long hair.
Okay. How long was it?
It was a little past his shoulders.
Any facial hair?
No.
So the reason I asked, was he a little bit thinner than he is today?
Yes, a lot thinner.
So it looks like his appearance has changed, but you can still recognize him.
Yes.
And finally, when he interacted with customers, I think you said he did a pretty good job.
Yes, he did.
And especially in electronics, people came to him with questions.
Yes.
Do you have any problem interacting with customers
No.
at all? No excessive shyness, or wasn't withdrawn or anything like that?
No.
Sounds like he was a pretty good employee.
Yes, he was. He was excellent.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome. And redirect Mr. Hamaji? Yes.
All right. We have met before.
Yes.
I know I looked a lot different. My hair was probably blacker. This was years ago.
Yes.
It was more than 10 years, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And it was myself and another man
Yes.
who came to visit you in Fayetteville
Yes.
to talk to you about Joe.
Yes.
Okay. Now, at the time that we went, there was no woman with us, correct?
Correct.
This was some years later that you saw a woman,
Yes.
and you believe it was someone from the prosecutor's office?
Yes.
It could have been. You're aware that 2 people are charged with this, and now that Joe is convicted, right?
Yes.
Now, could it have been someone from Michelle Anderson's team who disposed of the
It could have been. Yes.
Okay, now, are you just trying to search your memory on who they were, or are you kind of filling in the blanks and thinking that maybe it was a prosecutor?
All I know is I'm not sure anymore who she. I just know she was about my height. She had short hair, and it was about 2 years ago, and she asked me questions about Joe.
All right. During the time that you knew Joe, would you characterize him as a leader or a follower?
That's kind of hard to say. I mean, if you gave him the tools and the information, he would lead the troops. But he didn't follow, he did his own thing.
Okay. All right. So he would take initiative to do his job
Oh, yes.
and do his job well.
Excellent.
Okay. But he wasn't out there telling other people what to do.
No.
I'm going to ask you whether or not the name Stephanie Keltham, if I'm pronouncing that right, rings a bell to you.
It sounds familiar. She sounded like one of the co-workers there, but I can't picture her.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Any brief thoughts, Mr. Reporter?
Well, only because, just to end the drama. Stephanie Calfion is an investigator for Michelle Anderson's defense team. The reason I say that is not to embarrass you, but is it possible that the woman you thought was a prosecutor is a woman named Stephanie Calfion who works for Michelle Anderson's team?
It could be.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for being here. You're free to go. Have a great day, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. And your next witness, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Defense calls Stephen LePage.
Good morning, sir. You can just step up here and raise your right hand. That's where you're in.
All right,
You swear affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, sir. Please have a seat.
Good morning.
Morning.
Could you state your name and spell it for the record, please?
Stephen LePage, and it's going to be StephenLapage.
Okay, and just, I'm going to have you speak just a little bit toward the microphone there.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
And just try not to speak too quickly because
Okay.
it makes it difficult for the
For
reporter.
writing it, yeah.
Sir, would you give us your address, please?
It's going to be 3822 Wilshire, and that's going to be WILSHIRE, and then road in Memphis, Tennessee, 38111.
Okay, just give us a very brief overview. I don't need addresses, but what
Okay.
different states have you lived in the U.S.?
About 13.
Okay, well,
I started in New Hampshire, moved to Tennessee, New Jersey. Trying to do it in order so I can remember it. North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, New York, Ohio, Massachusetts, Maine, Virginia, and I did Texas. You have that on there? And then now Tennessee again.
Tennessee.
Yes.
in the course of your life, have you, well, let me ask you very, very generally, what do you do for a living, sir?
I am a programmer, laser programmer, and I do metal finish. I do medical implants,
Okay.
hips, knees, stuff that you put in the body.
Okay. Have you ever met in person Michelle Anderson?
No, I have not.
Have you ever had correspondence with a person named Michelle Anderson?
Yes, I have.
When did you and how, when did you start corresponding with her?
It was probably right around 1997, end of 97, 98 area.
Okay. And how were you corresponding with her? How did you meet her?
Oh, I met on AOL, and
What were you doing on AOL? Just
it was just chats, online chats, but how we actually met was through, it was like Dungeons and Dragons, if you do it online, that's written out in a text form. So,
and that was approximately 97, you say?
yeah, right around then, right around after I graduated high school, it was right around that time.
Okay. And how long did you ever have written correspondence with her, or was it all AOL?
Oh, no, we had text message, like the instant message, email. We did email once in a while, but it wasn't that common. It was more, if she was on, I was on, we would talk, because that was more of our interaction. But a lot of the game talk, or the role play that we did play online was based around character books and just any real fantasy fiction books and, science fiction, whatever. It was whoever the person wanted to be in that character, and that's who they played. So, I mean, it was a mixture of everything, all genres coming together. I mean, that's...
Was Michelle the only one you were corresponding with, or did you have
No,
others?
I knew probably 100 people that I played with, so...
Okay. And approximately, well, let me ask you this first. Do you know when you stopped having correspondence with Michelle? You know that she's in jail, right?
Yes.
And you've had some contact with her since she's been in jail, right?
Yes, I did.
So let's put the jail time aside for a second, and let me ask you, starting in 1997, how long did you correspond with her before she went to jail? Until approximately when?
I stopped talking to her right around 2001 or 2, right around that area.
Okay. Do you know, did she have a boyfriend at the time that you were corresponding with her?
At the time, I didn't know, but I mean, we didn't go into those details on if she was talking to somebody at the time. I mean, I assumed sometimes, but I mean, I didn't really ask. I mean, if there was a chance to actually make something of it, it would have happened, but it never got to that stage. So.
Okay, and did you ever speak to her on the telephone?
It was, once in a while, but it wasn't. You had to pay per minute back then. So I mean, we probably had 2 or 3 conversations on the phone, but it wasn't more than 30 minutes. So.
Okay. What jobs do you remember her doing, or what work did you understand that she did during the period of time that you were corresponding with her?
She was doing security work and like birthday party, like face painting stuff.
Face painting?
Yeah.
Do you know where she was doing security work?
The one company that I heard her talk about, I mean, I don't know if she had gotten in there, but Nintendo was one of the places.
Nintendo?
Yes.
Okay.
And then other than that, she was working at it was just, I don't know the actual names of the companies.
Okay. Did she talk to you at all about her experience at Nintendo or anything that was happening at work?
No, she never brought that up. I mean, she did talk about some of the people she worked with, but I don't know if it was Nintendo that it was part of that she hadn't gotten in there, or if she had already gotten in there. It was right around that window of, I'm not sure if it was that exact time frame, but.
Sure. What did she say about the people she worked with?
That the guys that she worked with would flirt with her, hit on her, and she didn't like any of the people that she worked with, and it was always, it was not, she always felt like she was being watched by the guys that she worked with, like she was being objectified, feeling like she was like always being watched, stared at like a piece of meat, basically, I guess is how you word it. Yeah.
She didn't like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you, you said you had some written correspondence with her?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to show you what has been marked Defense Exhibit 314 for identification.
Okay.
Can you tell me, do you recognize that document?
Yeah, this is old. Yep, 2000. Yep.
Do you recognize
Yeah,
it?
I do.
Can you tell me what is that document?
This is an email that I believe wrote. Yeah.
And at the bottom, is there a date?
Yeah, February 22nd, 2000. Yep.
Okay. I move for admission of Exhibit 314.
Any objection?
No objection, but I thought you might have said February 22nd.
What's the date, sir?
27th.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Okay.
Okay, no objection.
I'm going to put,
It's admitted.
thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to put the exhibit on the overhead so that it's visible here. Zoom out. And the date you were reading from, sir, is that in the extremely fine print at the bottom?
Yes.
Okay. And I apologize, this might be embarrassing, this was 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We all wrote stuff 15 years ago, and this is something that you wrote. So I'm going to ask you to please, if you would please read that into the record.
Okay.
This is a letter that you wrote to Michelle, correct?
Yes. Just writing to tell you I'm no longer in New Hampshire, but Texas. I arrived a few days ago, and all seemed well. My car ran great, which means I did a good job overall.
Which means what?
Which means I did a good job. I guess overall. How are you? What's new with you, sweetie? I really miss you. I know you are probably attached to somewhere. Well, that word's blanked out, so I don't know what that says. Attached to somebody, I'd understand. If I was you, I wouldn't even talk to me. It's like I'm giving you the cold shoulder, which totally isn't the case. I just, I don't want you to get your hopes all high, then see what really got you excited about. I'm no prize, Michelle. Not even close. I just want you to realize that I'm not great in the least. And if you still love me, then you're a better person than I am for, I guess I would be such. If such a thing ever happened to me, I'd be crushed to death and wouldn't know what to do. I'll have the name here if you want to write me, and I will get the street address in case you want to send me stuff in the mail. I will have to be under a different name, though. So it doesn't always go to my. So it doesn't go to my house in New Hampshire. So does Stephen L. Michael sound? I don't know. He. Yeah, I'm weird. I don't got to tell you twice or at all, in fact, because I'm a freak. I know I'm a freak. Okay, I don't remember writing that, but anywho, I just want. Anywho, I just wanted to see how you was. Yeah, I obviously couldn't write or read now. And to let you know that I really do love you, but I fear that will change when I meet you in person. But we will see. We finally meet, then we will truly know. Till then, talk to you later, Michelle. By the way, I love you. Bye-bye, cutie. Hope you liked the semi-long letter. And then, love, Stephen.
Sorry, sir. It's a little embarrassing to have something put up on the big screen that you didn't expect to be published.
No, it's all good.
Sorry, we have to bring this stuff out. Not
No.
to embarrass you.
No, you're building the case. I understand.
Okay. Now, just a couple points about this. You'd never met her before, right?
No, not in person, no.
But, I mean, you're saying that you're in love with her.
Well, I mean, you know, you can love somebody you never met. I mean, it happens. I still do it. I mean, hey.
And you still have feelings like that for some people?
Yeah, I mean, there's people that I've never met that I care about and have, you know, yeah.
And you had enough correspondence or communications with her that that's how you felt?
Yeah, at that time, yes.
Had there been some talk about, because you're talking about possibly meeting in person, had there been some talk?
Yeah, when we had talked on the phone, that had brought up as a subject. We never actually did, but I mean, every time it got to that point, she almost would withdraw, and that's when I felt like there was already somebody else in the picture, so I just didn't pursue it. And then, you know, a couple of weeks later, a month down the road, she would like gain interest again, and then we would, you know, spark up conversation, and then it would die down again, and we wouldn't correspond for, you know, months or whatever, and then it would pick back up. It wasn't like a constant everyday talking type of thing. It was like, you know, 1 week, you know, we talk every night, and then it would go away for a week or 2 weeks or a month, and then back to talking again. So.
And it continued for a few years.
Yeah.
And that possibility of you coming out, did that kind of persist through the relationship? Did it occasionally come up?
I mean, I did want to meet her no matter what. I mean, I wasn't, even if nothing, it came romantic, anything. I just, you know, I like meeting people that I've talked to and, you know, just got to know, and, you know, That's,
Sounds like you're not
yeah.
afraid to go try and live in a new place.
Nope, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. How did you hear about the murders in this case?
I was contacted by, I believe, a lawyer, somebody, I don't know who the actual person is now. It was in 2007, but
2007,
or
2008?
it was 2008. Okay, yeah. So it was right. I was still working at the other company that I was working at, but yeah, it was.
You were in Memphis already?
Yes, I was still in Memphis. Yeah, it was right around. Yeah, it was 2000. It was mid 2008-ish. It was right in the beginning of the year.
Okay. And do you know, was that lawyers for Michelle Anderson, or do you know if it was?
I don't know who it was for. Now that I think about it.
And after that, did you then have some more contact with Michelle Anderson?
Yeah, I wrote and was like, what the hell happened? I mean, how did this even come to be? I mean, you could have reached out if something was going on. I'm that kind of person. I would help out if I could help somebody, in any situation. I try to help out. So.
Were you surprised that she was involved in something as horrible as this?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if anybody that I know would do something like that. But yeah.
Okay. Did you then wind up having some telephone conversations with Michelle Anderson?
Yes.
Was she in the King County Jail at that point?
Yes, she was.
So how did that work? Did you have to facilitate those calls in any way?
Yeah, I sent my number originally, and then she called the first time, and it had to be set up on like a calling card. I've never called anybody in jail before, so I just, I had money. I don't care. Like I said, I help out anybody that I can. I throw money. Hey, you need this? Here you go. I throw. But yeah, I just put it on a card. I mean,
How much money did you put on a card?
Altogether, I think it was like maybe $50 or $100, something like that. It wasn't,
And did you then have telephone conversations
Yes,
with Ms.
yes.
Anderson? And about how many conversations did you have?
Overall, I remember probably 6 or so, or 10, maybe 10.
Okay, you weren't counting.
No, I didn't. It was just, random talking, whatever.
What was the general subject matter? You said random talking. Was there anything else that was part of those conversations?
I didn't really want to come out and just, ask details because I wasn't trying to figure out what that I just, more of the stuff we talked about was just, hey, have you talked to so-and-so since, whatever, just catching up, really. I didn't.
To people
Yeah,
that
just
you,
that we used to play with on the computer, and I just, I didn't, go straight forward into it and say, hey, why'd you do this? It was just, how do you even bring that up and just bring it right to somebody?
right. Was she trying to get you to make any phone calls or do anything for her?
Yeah, I had contacted the newspaper for her because she said that she needed to talk to somebody in the newspaper, and that something about her lawyers that she had at the time were not listening to her side of whatever she was trying to do, and she believed that the newspaper or whoever came out to help them would straighten it out, and that they would put her under their lawyers, I guess is how that worked. I don't know.
Did you ever do that? Did you make
I called the person that she gave me the name of, and I just forwarded that information. All I was just here you go. I was told to give you this, and
Sure.
Did
you do anything did she ask you to do anything by way of contacting the court or anything like that?
Never asked to contact court. No.
Okay. I have, I'm sure you would not recognize the disc I'm about to hand you, but we have a disc with one of those phone calls that's 15 minutes long.
Okay.
And so I'm going to show you what's been marked Defense Exhibits 315 and 316, which is the, if you would just take a quick look, if you would recognize that. That's a disc
Okay.
with a copy of the call on it. And you recognize that Exhibit 316 is a transcript of that call? Does that seem to make sense?
Yeah, everything looks. Yeah, I remember saying some of these things.
Okay. I would move for admission of Exhibits 315 and 316.
No objection. All right, 315 and 316 are both.
And we would like to play just this one phone call, 15 minutes long.
Go ahead.
And we would like to, we have copies of Exhibit 316, which is the transcript that we would request to distribute to the jury?
It's been admitted, so go right ahead.
Thank you for that.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, I cautioned you earlier with regard to the transcripts are intended to help you listen to the recording, but I urge you to pay particular attention to the recording rather than focusing on the transcript and running ahead or something of that sort, okay? So you're welcome to read along. Everyone have copies, I guess? Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. President.
Thank you. One moment, please. So we're playing Exhibit 315.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from
Michelle?
an inmate at King County Detention Facility. This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. The current account balance is $50. The maximum call duration is 15 minutes. To accept the charges, dial 3. To decline the charges, dial 9 or hang up now. Thank you for using Public Communication Services. You may begin speaking now.
Steven?
Hello?
Steven? Can you hear me?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, thank God. I'm trying
Yeah, I had to buy an account through this service. I don't know what that means, but
I'll pay you back for that, I promise. I know it's like...
no, it's all right. It's only $50. I'm not worried about it.
Back anyway, okay? Thank you so much.
Mr. LePage, does that sound like your voice in that recording?
Yeah, it's definitely me.
And again, apologies for any embarrassment.
No, I don't even remember what I said, but
Hey, not a problem. I mean, you know. So how are you?
Oh, horrible. I need your help.
Okay.
Can you make a phone call for me? Can you get like a piece of paper so you can write it down?
Yeah, let me find the pen here.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm in my car, so.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's not a problem.
I can't help when I'm able to get to the phone.
Alright, let me see if I can find somebody with a pen for me here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Ben. Bro, I'll be right back. So they figure out what's going on yet, or what?
The what?
Do they figure out what's going on, or?
Okay, well, what's happening is, my public defenders are corrupt, and Seattle Times and Cohen & Four offered to give me, private lawyers, for free in return for an interview, so I can sue the, public defenders, but they've been doing their best to try to keep us separated, and I can't directly call them from the jail. They know that their office won't answer, and I wanted you to call them if I give you the phone number to tell them to bring their lawyers up so I can sign them on officially and sue my public defenders.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, thank you. Okay, you guys need the paper?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, the number for Seattle Times is 206
206
464
464
okay, 29
629.
no 2900.
2900.
Yeah.
So 206-464-2900.
Yeah, that's for sale time. They need to have them bring their attorney up as soon as possible because I have a hearing on the 2nd, and I need them to come up before then, you know, so they can be there at the hearing with me. But they got to come up with the jail so I can sign them on, you know.
Okay.
And I don't have the number for Como News now 4. Maybe when you get home you can look it up on the internet on their website and maybe give them a call too. That's just, I thought maybe if I had two, they could represent my co-defendant also because his attorneys are doing the same shit, but he doesn't know about it, you know.
Yeah, they've been calling me and asking me all these questions.
Really? Oh, don't answer anything from them. I've been trying to get a hold of you this morning, but they put a court order in from getting you on the phone. They took away my First Amendment rights, and I finally got it listed, but the jail wasn't recognizing it until it got in writing, so I wasn't able to get it in writing until yesterday. I've been struggling with this for like 2 fucking months.
Oh.
Huh?
So they've been calling and asking me like how I know you and like how long I've known you, and I mean I told them like everything that I that like I mean I just don't see you as ever being a person that would do that. I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't say anything wrong. The thing is I use their private detective to try to find you, so I can get a hold of you, and then they started asking a bunch of questions, and there was, you didn't say anything wrong, but I was trying to get a hold of you because I had lost your email. I wish I'd never lost your email. This shit never would have happened. I didn't mean to lose your email.
No, I mean, I wish I would have known that you were in the problems that you were having. I mean, I'm not rich or anything, but I mean, a friend of mine needed money. I mean, I helped him out,
I know, I didn't need money. A lot of shit's been on the news that's not true at all. I wanted to introduce so I could tell everybody what the hell's going on. I mean, they got all this wild shit like salmon, devil oyster, and all this stuff, and that's not what's happening.
Well, I mean, I've read like a bunch of stuff. I mean, that's why I'm just kind of confused. I'm like, I've never known you to be like this, and this is weird. I don't know.
The sheriffs and everything, and the corrupt defenders, they said a bunch of shit that was a bunch of lies, and I need to get an interview so I can clear up what's happening, because like 90% of that stuff's not true, and I didn't need money. I wish I never lost your email, but I wanted to come out and see you,
Yeah, I'm in Tennessee now. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee.
If I had lost it, I would have went out there and would have got away from my family. I'll explain everything later. Please don't cheat.
Yeah, I've been trying to get in contact with you and like Marjorie. You remember her?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, she lives out in Washington somewhere, but I don't know where.
Oh, I didn't know she was in Washington.
Yeah, the one that played Presbyterian or whatever it was.
I know she did.
Yeah, she lives out in Washington somewhere. Her and the guy that she was dating when I lived with him in Tennessee back in 1998 or whatever it was. I don't even remember. A long time ago.
98, yeah. I didn't know they were out there.
Yeah, they moved out there probably 4 years ago, I think.
Wow.
Last time I talked to her, that's what she said, and I was still living in South Carolina at the time, so.
Yeah. If I hadn't lost your email, I would have came out buy it or sent you some money so you could fly up to see me, and man.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could. I mean, I would have liked to come up there. I was actually thinking about, going over in that direction anyways. I mean, I'm halfway across the country right now as it is. I mean,
I could send you some money if you want to work that out. What's going to have to happen is I got to get this stuff worked out with my lawyer, and I'll be able to get access to my bank account, and I'll send you some money, and if you want to visit or something, but
You want to let me visit? I mean, is that possible?
I don't know. I'm going to try to work it out. I'm going to try to get into a hospital so I can get visitors to come in whenever, instead of this restrictive crap that they have in jail. But
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been to jail or anything. I don't know how it works.
yeah, well, it's a fucking mess. I'll work everything out, so let you know if it's even possible. But I'm definitely going to send you a couple grand, for helping me, because it's just that big of a deal,
Now, are you able to talk to Joe? I mean, have you been able to get hold of him?
The problem is that these goddamn public defenders have, put a separation order against our will. And if I get these two private attorneys to come up, and you can just call Law&Crime and have them send up their lawyer, today, and then I'll be able to tell him, hey, get a hold of the other lawyer. But just in case they don't, you can call Como later, and I can use those two private attorneys to represent both of us, and they'll get the separation order off. And then we can do both of the public defender teams, and that's what I need to do, Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a mess. Then I sent a letter because I wasn't sure if I could get a hold of you on the phone, because I had trouble getting hold of you yesterday. So.
Yeah, every time you would call, it would say, please call this place and set up an account. So I called the place and set up an account, and they're like, well, you have to put $50 down. I was like, okay. I didn't know you guys would pay. I thought usually when people get called from jail last time I knew that you say, do you want to accept the charges, and then it charges it to your bank or your phone number or whatever.
That's how they usually are, but for some reason it's different in Seattle. I don't know why, but I will pay that.
No, I don't care. It's only $50. I mean,
I will. I'll pay you a lot because I really appreciate this. All I know is that when I get off the phone with you, if you just promise to call Law&Crime today, because I need them to come out.
Yeah, I'll call. I'm not the person that backs on my word. I'll call.
Okay. No, I wasn't.
I don't know what to exactly ask them or what to say, but yeah, I can call for you.
Okay. Well, here I'll tell you. What you tell them is that my public defenders are corrupt, and they raised a competency hearing to keep me from, speaking out and getting help. And I had the competency trial, and I've been found legally competent, and I can have visitors again. And I need them to send their lawyer up immediately. And I'm willing to give them a full interview in return, no holds barred, anything they want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And tell them if they can't make it out to the jail for some reason, like they're busy, to at least be at my hearing on this July 2nd. That's all you have to tell them.
It'll be there before July 2nd?
Yeah. But, preferably if they come out today, it'll be awesome. But if they can't make it out to the jail, have them show up at my hearing on the 2nd, Okay, does that make sense, sort of? Or?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
You want to bring an attorney, try to be up there today if possible, but if not, be there before July 2nd or on July 2nd when your hearing is, that your public defenders that you have won't let you talk, and they're keeping you asleep.
I'm allowed to talk now, but before I wasn't,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because they weren't coming up because of the court order, but that's listed, so, yeah.
Yeah, and they both called me for you and for Joe.
I know.
Both of them tried asking me, and then they asked me the same exact questions, and I was like, well, I've never met her in person. I don't, and their information, and I was like, I don't know much about her family. She's never done anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they were just calling everybody in my history and in Joe's history.
Well, I don't know how they got me. I don't have any clue.
Oh, no, they have a private investigator, and I said, here's your name, and you're on the East Coast somewhere, and I don't know how they managed, but they found you. But,
you actually remember my whole name?
Yeah. I never forgot about you ever. I just didn't know how to find you. So I was going to hire a private investigator to find you anyways, but they said But then when this shit happened, then they have their own. But I didn't know they were going to ask you all those questions. I just wanted to look you up so I could talk to you.
And the one dude, he was like, he wouldn't let me off the damn. He just like asked question after question. He'd be like, "Do you know Joe?" And I'm like, I don't even know who Joe is.
Yeah, his defenders are fucking assholes. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm fine. I wasn't lying when everything I told him was pretty much the truth.
Yeah,
I mean, you never seem like, the type of person that would be like that. They were like, well, is she a violent person? And I was like, no, not that I know of. She just did like the guy that she used to work with at Nintendo, I think, where it was when you were doing security, were the only guys that that the only time that you ever said anything about like that was that you didn't like that they got in your space.
Yeah.
And you didn't like say, oh, I'm gonna kick your ass after work or anything. You just, and the only thing I ever knew that about your, family was that you helped your mom a couple times when you were at work, and that was when she was doing postal work or something.
Yeah. No, you didn't do anything wrong at all. That's 100%.
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
It just has 1 minute increments, because I don't have a lot of time out. I'll call you right back in like 5 minutes. They have to be checked. Is that okay? Or is
Yeah, fine.
that all right? Okay. I'll call you back in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, sir, in looking at the front page of Exhibit 315, see the date on the top?
Yeah. 6/24, 2008.
June 24, 2008?
Yeah.
315, I believe, is the transcript.
No,
316.
I beg your pardon, 316. My mistake. I'll take that back, and I'll just recollect the transcripts from the jury as well.
Do either one of you want to make a motion to strike or object to any portion of that audio?
I'd like to know what my place is, Your Honor.
Now, the record is what it is.
I get to walk on getting
So that's what I sound like on the phone? Okay, now I know what I sound like on the phone. I sound basically like I sound like now. I don't talk any different.
It's 7 years old, so, okay, so do you remember having that
Yeah,
phone call, sir?
yeah.
Was that sort of the tenor of the other phone calls with her as well?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we just talked more about like, hey, have you talked to so-and-so? And it was just more, I wasn't trying to bring up the overall subject, because I don't really, how do you even ask somebody I just was avoiding that whole everything. I was just trying to talk to her as a friend and try to just listen and be like, hey,
And did her requests for you to make phone calls and contact various people, did that continue?
After that, no, there wasn't anybody else that I had not that I remember. I don't think I had to contact anybody else.
Did you get some letters from her?
Yes, I did.
I'm going to show you what's been marked Defense Exhibit 317, which is Sir, I'm showing you what's been marked Defense Exhibit 317 for identification. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Does that look to be one of the letters that you received from Michelle?
Yes, it is.
And is there a date on the top of that letter?
No.
Okay. And again, I'm going to just have you read that into the record. I'm going to give you a copy of it that I think is...
Okay, I was going to say, this...
I move for admission of 317.
Any objection to 317?
No, thank you.
It's admitted, thank you.
Just give you the copy there, and I'm going to put the original on the overhead. And if you would be so kind, sir.
Such small writing, okay. I need your help.
Is it addressed Stephen?
Yeah, Stephen, I need your help. I think it's mine, okay. My public defendants are corrupt. I have been violating my legal rights, or they have been violating, is that what they even said? And have been violating my legal rights. This writing's really small, so I need a lawyer to protect me from them and sue them. Seattle Times and Como Channel News 4 have agreed to provide me with lawyers in return for the interview, but they don't know that. Okay, yes. I mean, that's hard to read. Okay, well, yeah, that's much better. Where are we? In return for an interview, but they don't know that I need them to send lawyers to the jail to see me. Oh, okay, me. Her writing's cursive and stuff. Me as soon as possible. I have a hearing on July 2nd, and I desperately need them to be here. If I can't make it to the jail before then, I can't call them directly from jail. Could you please call Seattle Times and Como News 4 and tell them to send the lawyers up to the jail, or at least be at the jail on July 2nd hearing. Tell them that they get a full exclusive interview in return. Stephen, if you could do this, I'd be greatly appreciative. Greatly appreciate it. In fact, I will send you at least $3,000 just for taking these phone calls. That's how important this is to me. I've been trying to get a hold of you on your cell phone, but I've been having trouble. I will keep trying. I have a lot to tell you. As soon as I get this matter taken care of, I'll be able to fill you in on everything. I'll also try to negotiate with the new lawyer and see if I can send you $40,000. I don't remember that. From the lawsuit. Oh, from the lawsuits. It will depend on what happens. Thank you so much for your support, and then take care, Michelle Anderson. And then BA 207053805, and then Seattle Times, she wrote the number and it's 206-464-2900. And then Como News, and then she says, I'm not sure, but it should be on their web address.
Okay. And so that sounds like she's still talking about the July 2nd hearing.
Yeah.
And so, even though we don't have a date, would it be fair to assume that maybe this is around the same time period as that phone call we
Yeah.
listened to?
Yeah, because I'd be working, if she called, and I wouldn't be able to answer, and so I'd be working on the laser and stuff, and you can't have a phone in that area because it'll cause issues. So.
Okay. Did you make some of those phone calls, do you recall?
Yeah, I called the news person that she gave me. She gave me an actual email address to whoever the person was. I forget what her email address was. That was on one of the phone calls, I believe. She told me what it might have been in the letter, but she told me who to actually contact and what to say, and just basically forward the information to that person.
Okay. Did you receive another letter from Ms. Anderson after that?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked Defense Exhibit 318 for identification. No, it's just one. Sorry. I'm going to show you what's been marked Defense Exhibit 318 for identification. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
Does that appear to be a letter sent to you from Michelle Anderson?
Yes.
Do you recognize your handwriting?
Yep, that's the small handwriting, yep.
And what's the date on that letter?
That one is 7/10/08.
Okay. I'm going to move for admission of Exhibit 318.
No objection.
Okay, and once again, I think this is a pretty good copy, sir. I'm going to
Okay.
take the actual exhibit and put that on the overhead, and request that you please read this in the...
Okay.
You only have this in one more letter like this.
All right.
318 is admitted. Go ahead.
Okay, it says Stephen, and then the date is 7/10/08, and it says, Stephen, I'm sorry I didn't get to call you back. The jail phone system hung up on me. When I tried to call you back, it said that there wasn't enough funds. If you could put some more on there, or put more money on it, I'll pay you back. And then 888-288-9879. I guess that's the number for the putting more money back on it, I guess. I just really need to talk to you and hear your voice. I'm sorry that most of our phone calls have involved me asking you to make so many calls and emails. You're the only person that can help me. I can only imagine what you must be thinking of me be thinking of all of this. Words can't describe how awful I feel to put you in this position. I would never have asked for you to ask this of you if I had other options. And I wouldn't be asking for the death penalty if I wasn't absolutely sure that it's what I need to do. I know that everything in the news sounds bad, but I promise once I get my sentencing, I'll tell you exactly what happened and what didn't. It's not anything that would affect your decision to help me. It's just that there's so much corruption in this jail that I'm afraid that my letter would get intercepted and they'd turn my words around. I know this sounds odd, but if you witnessed what I have in the jail, you'd understand. I'll explain later. Out of all my regrets, one of the prominent ones was having lost your email a couple years back. I was trying to get my life straightened out so I could fly out and visit you, and then I need help then, but I was afraid to ask. Admittedly, I was afraid that you'd be disappointed in me, and I'm still afraid that now. I wanted to live with you and be your girlfriend. I kept a copy of all your emails in a shoebox, which I guess is what you gave me earlier. I didn't even know those existed. I forget about you. I never forget about you. I've always loved you, and I always will. The picture that you sent is not a bad one at all. I kept it in my pocket 24/7, and it's been a little blotched from my tears. I'm so sorry that I am such a failure. I'll try my best to make up for everything. If you decide to write back at all, you don't have to, because we can talk on the phone. Just be careful what you write. The jail opens and reads all incoming mail. I can't tell you how much this means to me to be able to talk to you. I don't know what I'd do without you. Thank you so much, and this is Love You, Michelle Anderson.
Okay. And did you get another letter after the letter that's been marked Exhibit 318?
Yes, I did.
And the last letter that you got, did it ask you to send another letter?
Yes.
Okay. I'm showing you what's been marked Defense Exhibit 319 for identification. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
And what is that, please?
What, do you want me to read this one?
Why don't you just first identify the document?
Okay, this is the one that was given to me.
Is that a letter that you received from Michelle Anderson?
Yes, it is.
What is the date in the upper right-hand corner?
7/21/08.
Okay. And is it addressed to you?
Yes, it is.
And at the bottom, who is it signed by?
By Michelle.
Okay. I'm going to move for admission of Exhibit 319.
Any objections for approval?
Is this the letter that begins, I hate to bother you?
Yes.
No objection.
All right. 319 is admitted.
And we're going to once again put this on the overhead.
All right.
And sir, I've given you a copy of Exhibit 319. I would ask you to please read that into the record.
Okay. Okay, 7/21/08. It says, Stephen, I hate to bother you, but could you do me a huge favor? I could mail you a letter for Joe for me. I have included it with this letter, I was hoping you could mail that letter in a new envelope with your name and address on the envelope. I suppose I'm supposed to be able to mail him, but the stupid officers keep throwing them away when they see my name on the envelope. Okay. Was a court order to keep us separate, but it expired, and I never said anything about prohibiting email. The officers don't read, and that's okay. That was a complete sentence, I guess. It says the officers don't read, and then it has a period, so I'm guessing that was the end of the sentence. I know it's cryptic, but when he reads it, he'll understand what I'm trying to tell him. He also recognizes my handwriting. This is the only time that I'll ask you of this. I guess that says for this favor. I'll pay you back for the stamps and the envelope. If you put his BA number, I guess that's jail number, I guess. That's what it is. Yeah, okay.
The BA number at the bottom of one of the other letters that you read?
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. On the envelope, and it will reach him sooner. I need to clear up some things with the media. They have gotten something wrong. They misinterpreted my words. Also, some people were trying to speak falsely of me. Please don't believe anything that you hear, the news for the time being. I have found 2 private attorneys, both, I don't even can't read that word. But both turned, okay, yeah, it's faded, so. Both turned out to be not qualified. If you find anyone, you could tell them to see me at the jail and represent me. I can pay them. I know people who owe me money that can give me $10,000 guaranteed in cash. Thank you for being there for me. As soon as I get a new lawyer, I'll be able to access my bank account and pay you back for all your help. Thank you so much. Love, Michelle, or love you, and then Michelle. And it says, P.S. His name, address is on the back of the letter as a reference, and it has like a little smiley face.
Okay, and then you have the second page of what you're looking at. If I turn this exhibit 319 over.
Yeah, and it says Joseph Thomas McEnroe, BA number question mark. That's why I was like, I don't know what that. Okay, and then King County Correctional Facility, 500 Fifth Ave, Seattle, Washington, 98104.
Okay, thank you, sir. So did you actually send that other part of that letter on to?
Yes, I did.
Sir, I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as Defense Exhibit 304. And so now you're holding both 304 and 319. I'm going to ask you, do those appear to be the 2 halves of the letter that you separated and forwarded the second half
Yes.
to Mr. McEnroe?
Yes, but I didn't read whatever this was. I just sent it up.
That's fine. Let me take those back. I'm just going to put those briefly on the overhead. And that's Exhibit 304 that's at the bottom and 319 that's at the top. Now, did you have any contact with anybody after you sent that on to Mr. McEnroe about whether you should be sending things on to Mr. McEnroe?
You had called me and said that what I had done was illegal, and I really didn't know that that was what was going on. So I did send it, but not knowing that what I was doing was actually illegal. So.
Well, you didn't know that there was a no contact order, right? Were you just doing a favor for Michelle?
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to do the whole time. So.
Sure, I understand. Let me ask you, did you keep having contact with Michelle after that?
Well, no, the last conversation on the phone was after this letter, because I called and told her that basically she got me in trouble, and that I wasn't going to be able to help her anymore, and then I haven't talked to her since then.
Why did you discontinue talking to her? How did you feel about the whole situation?
Well, I mean, I felt like I was a pawn in something. I felt
You
like
were
I
a
was
pawn?
being, yeah. like-
P-A-W-N?
Yes. Like, I felt like, you know, she didn't care about me getting in trouble for, I could have potentially gone, you know, and gotten arrested for something that I had no, you know, no part in at all. So I just felt like I was manipulated into sending a letter that, I mean, and I don't, you know.
And you didn't want to be part of that?
No, I was done after that, yeah.
Sir, thank you for your time. I have
Thank you.
no further questions, but Mr. O'Toole may have some for you.
All right.
And Mr. O'Toole, in light of the hour, do you want to take the morning break and then commence with cross?
I think it would make sense. Thank you.
Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, please leave your notepads and pens there on the chairs. We don't discuss the case amongst ourselves during the break. We'll see you back in about 15 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to just slide by without papers.
No, I understand.
You can go next to him, wait in the
Okay.
where you waited for.